All right, welcome back to Hawks Huddle. We have a very special guest joining us right now. I have been a fan of his for a few years now. If you are a Giants fan or just an NFL fan, you should know who this man is, Mr. Joe Ruback, or better known as License Plate Guy. How are you doing today?
Good. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming on. So this is huge having you here. I've been a fan of you for a few years now. Probably 2016 is when I discovered your Instagram and your social media. And I met you in Arizona 3 years ago when the Cardinals got blown out. Giants got blown out by the Cardinals 24-0.
Oh,
I don't recall that. I don't recall
You
that.
don't? Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to pretend
Don't
that
even know
never
what you're talking
happened. But the highlight of that trip was meeting you. I was so starstruck. So thanks again for coming on. We want to start this off. What are your thoughts on the Giants after last week's win?
ooh.
Well, first of all, thank you for those kind words. I don't hear it a lot, so it's pretty cool to when you have any kind of impact on another Giants fan's life or I should say their fandom. It's pretty cool. So thank you. What's my feelings? You already know my feelings. First place. I can't believe it. Could you imagine all the crap that was spoken about with how bad this team was, 1-7 and then 5-7, and literally could be the only team in NFL history to start 1-7 and make it to the playoffs.
Right. I am so hyped. Like a few weeks ago on our podcast, I was even saying how I gave up on the Giants. I was losing hope. Let's tank for Lawrence. But there's hope again. There's energy again. And this team reminds me a lot of our 2016 team. Right? With Malik Collins.
Correct. I mean, look, it was the lone bright spot in 10 years, right? I mean,
right.
to get into the playoffs, obviously not really doing too well, but I don't disagree with you. This team has, flashes of, dare I say, greatness, and I say greatness tongue in cheek because I know they're still only 5-7, but their defense is in the top 10. Their offense is coming along. They just beat the freaking Seahawks with a backup quarterback. And here we are talking about Russell Wilson in the MVP vote. So,
right.
So look, I want to go back to something you did say, though. And if you follow me, you know that I'm a big Giants homer. I get, you and Mark probably know I get beat up on social media because, everybody tells me I look at everything through, blue colored glasses, or I'm a homer and this and that. You're damn right I am. And I'll always look at it through, isn't that what fandom is about?
Right.
Do you really,
For sure.
unless, what's the difference if I'm sitting here trying to talk to both of you and tell you the Giants should tank, or the flip side, have trust in them, they're going to win the division, What makes what this person is saying any more credible than what this person is saying? So and someone's going to say it's called reality. Well, guess what? All the people that said I was out of touch with reality, well, look at where we are right now. Okay, so that's a big difference. And look, I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong to want to tank for a franchise quarterback, but I believe the Giants, and if you're the Jets, or if you're the Giants without Daniel Jones, and you're sitting there at 1-7, and you do have the chance to maybe not play so well and get a franchise quarterback, then I'm not going to tell you I'm going to destroy you. But that's only a franchise quarterback. I don't give a crap about the Chase Young Bowl last year.
Yeah.
I don't care about that. You draft where you draft.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I'm so excited to interview you, Joe. I mean, I've seen you a bunch on TV, just talking to Jacqueline and hearing some of the stories she's had with you. I wanna stay with the Giants here. I want to talk a little bit about how you got involved with License Plate Guy and all the work you've done, charity work and things like that. But let's stay with the Giants. Patrick Graham and that defense. You talked about them. I mean, wow, the way Leonard Williams is playing. I mean, you talk about some other guys, Martinez, Love. I mean, it's they're just working together. I mean, yeah, you mentioned top 10 defense, third most turnovers in the league, playing well.
I mean, look, I don't want to talk too much about Patrick Graham because I don't want the word to get out. And then all of a sudden, his ass is coaching another team next year.
Yeah.
He's going to be a head coach. So, look, the guy he's not good. He's very good. He disguises defenses. He's got people at misdirection. He's got guys dropping back into coverage. He's got blitzing coming from different sides. Patrick Graham is good. And you know what? You know what most people lose sight of? You know, he's not just a defensive coordinator. Did you know that?
Well, he's the
He's
associate
the
coach there too, right?
he, he's the co-head coach kind of.
Yeah.
So like, you know, assistant head coach. You
Yeah.
know, they didn't the Giants, look, I remember Graham the first time around. This is not his you know, first cup of tea with the Giants. So I'm looking forward to more what he has to do for the rest of the season. But the guys you mentioned, Mark, the defense, oh my
Whew.
God, flying all over the place. And I will tell you that like consistency, or what's the word I'm looking for, when the, you know, confidence, when one player or two players or three player has it, the whole defense has it. And they
Yeah.
got that swag. The defense
For
has that swag
sure.
to all
Stepping up.
11 players.
Right, for sure, for sure. So I want to get to know a little bit more about you. I for sure do want to do a little bit more Giants talk later, but you are one of the most interesting guys out there. I know this is a pretty generic question, but how did you become a fan? Because you are from New York, New Jersey. Why the Giants? Why not the Jets?
Well, you know, I mean, look, I'm a little older than you guys, just by a couple of years. But when you're a Giants fan, you're more or less bred into the family. So if your mom or your dad or your grandmother or your aunt, whoever was in the family, your ass was a Giant fan, and you couldn't do anything about that. You know, my dad would like, he'd rather like, you know, put me up for adoption if I wasn't a Giant fan. So you have to be one. And you know, you guys grew up in a different era. Like, you know, you guys know fantasy football and
Hmm.
and guys going to different teams because of more money. Or I didn't go through that. I had, you know, it was a fandom when you had Phil Simms or Lawrence Taylor or Jesse Armstead or Mike Strahan. When they put on the jersey, you more or less knew that they were going to be on your team for 10 years.
Right.
You know, you could go buy a jersey and you didn't know that the next year he was going to be traded. No,
Yeah.
that thing
Right.
hung up in your closet and you had that for 10 years. It's a different era. So you really become a fan because of your family.
Family, yeah, for sure. Like with my dad, he grew up a Giants fan because of Lawrence Taylor, and then when I started getting into
Yeah.
football, Eli Manning was kind of like that guy that I idolized. So I've always stuck with the Giants, even with him retiring. We have these new stars, and I will always be a Giants fan for life. I can't change it. Trust me, I would rather go to a different team where they've been winning Super Bowls, because ever since I've been a fan was after we won the Super Bowl. So I never got to witness winning, but I'm going to be a Giants fan for life, and I hope we can win some more.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought up Eli Manning because he probably is one of the reasons why the Giants kept a long-standing fan base. Meaning, you know, he was a Giant. He never missed a game. You know, so if you were an Eli Manning fan, my daughter met Eli when she was 5, you know, maybe 4. And, you know, she's graduating high school and she's like, wait, Eli Manning's not the quarterback. You know what I mean? So
Right.
having that type of fandom for one player, in one organization, like he says, only a Giant.
Only a
That's
Giant, yeah,
big. That's big. That's big for Giant fans. So I
for
like
sure.
that. I like you brought up Manning. Do you want to hear something? A cool fact. I don't know why I love this so much, but I have seen in person every single one of Eli Manning's snaps as a quarterback.
Oh,
No
wow.
way.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
Wow, yeah, so
Every single play that he took under center, I was there for, and every single Geno Smith's.
Yikes! Yeah, you talked about player movement, how players move a lot. I know that a bunch. Being a Jags fan, I got a Ramsey jersey here, a Fournette jersey there. All right, so I know a lot about that. This might be another generic question. Everybody knows you as license plate guy, obviously. How did that sort of start up? I know you just said you've seen every Manning snap. I know I read that you were at every single game back at the old Giant Stadium. So, I mean, how did the whole license plate thing come about?
So I knew that I wanted personalized plates, customized plates when I was 10. So when I was 16, my mom took me to motor vehicles, and you couldn't get anything online, so
Yeah.
we had to wait online. We had to wait online forever, and then when it was my turn to get up there, I wanted Giant plates, and believe it or not, Giants was taken, and I think I cried like a baby, to be honest with you. And my mom was like, I think it was my mom's idea. She was like, why don't you just change the I to a 1 and, just do G1 ants, which to me was not only great, it was like, yeah, Giants are number 1. I mean, it couldn't have been any better. And they
Yep.
had it, and it's been on my car. It still is, since I was 16. But what happened was my dad dared me to wear it to a game as a joke, and I was like, I'm not gonna wear my license plate to a game, and he dared me again, and then I took a shoelace and I took the plate off the car and I wore it to a game. And Giant fans back then, even to this day, they're very superstitious.
Yeah.
So
oh yeah.
I'm kind of not, I don't think you got to wear the same drawers for the Giants to win a game, but that's just me. So, you know, I I wore it to a game and they won, and a lot of people actually they were like, "Dude, you got to wear that. You got to wear that next week." So
Yeah.
one game or two games between the season, and then I got another plate and then another plate and maybe another car with another plate, and next thing you know, I was wearing like 3 or 4, and I was like, "Yeah!" And all through the years, I was never a license plate guy. It was just some guy that wore plates. And then not until the Super Bowl 42
Yeah.
when Tyree caught that ball and I'm on the DVD going,
Oh my
"Oh
God,
my
guy.
God!"
Yeah.
Right? I
Yeah.
was the "Oh my God" guy before people knew me as license plate guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Talking about that oh my God guy moment, that is one of the greatest plays in Giants history. What is that your favorite moment of all time of Giants history?
Wow, that's a really good question. I mean, I have a ton. I really
Hmm.
do. I mean, I was able to make snow angels in the confetti on the field.
Oh
I
yeah.
was able to hug Eli Manning after the Super Bowl win before he left the field. I mean, who does that? Who
Yeah.
gets to have that? Who does that? But as far as a play, Jacqueline, I mean, that is the greatest play, beginning to end, in not only Giants history, but probably the NFL and the Super Bowl. And I'm not saying the greatest catch. I'm not saying the greatest escape. It's the greatest play.
Right.
And I don't even think you could argue that. People like, "Oh, that's not even the best catch." I didn't say that. I said the greatest play, because the whole thing, beginning to end, Eli, Tyree, helmet, this and that. So yeah, it's probably my favorite play ever.
Favorite play. Yeah, that for sure is one of the greatest. Like as I said before, I didn't get to witness that live. Of course I watched it now years later, but like really the best one that I saw of Giants would be the Odell one-handed catch, because we haven't really done much since that Super Bowl. So that big play was that Odell catch that led him to stardom and being a celebrity. And I also wanted to talk about, so how did LPG kind of rise to fame? Because I discovered you when you already had a bit of a following. How did this following even happen? Is it because of just wearing license plates to games?
Yeah, I guess so. Um, I think social media has a lot to do with it. Um, I was friends with players long before I was posting about it. I was doing charitable work with players before I was posting about it. And I think going to all the games, home and away, and people constantly seeing you, you know, that's how you kind of get a following. I don't think I've ever gone out there and asked someone to follow me. I don't think I've ever said, hey, you know, send a message to someone, hey, better follow me. I
Yeah.
think you just if you do good work, like you guys on this podcast, right?
Mm-hmm.
You guys are going to get a following. It's going to happen. Don't push for it. When you put out good content, you're going to get people that want to follow, and that's what you're going to do. And I believe that if you constantly put out some good positivity and do good things, I believe good people hang around with good people.
Right,
That's
right.
not to say you won't get negative, because you will.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You
Um,
will.
right, right. And then how did you even really become friends with the team? What was it, just kind of they kind of recognized your face?
Yeah. So, well, I work in different. I guess I work in different decades. Like I used to babysit for Joe Morris's kids. I was only 14, 15. My dad used to have to take me to his house to babysit. So that was like the
Oh
80s,
wow.
you know.
Wow.
And then, you know, and then the 90s it was someone else, and then the 2000. But I clearly remember it's easy to like be a kid and be like friends with them, because you're not really friends. You're just like, oh yeah, yeah,
Right.
that cool kid. But as an adult, it's even better. And what happened, how I became really close with some of the players is I was just hanging around at the team hotel. I believe it was probably Dallas. And I'm walking through the lobby and I hear, yo. And I hear it again, yo. And I hear it again. And I'm like, finally turn around. And this guy says, yo, who the F are you? And I'm like, it's Brandon Jacobs. And
Oh.
I'm like, Joe, like had no idea what to say.
Mhm.
And when it boils down to it, he's like, sit. And it was me and Brandon and Ahmad and Danny Ware
Wow.
and Rich Soyber, just a couple of players just hanging out in the lobby. And they're like, no, seriously, like, what the hell do you do? Where do you come from? How the hell do you sit behind our bench every day, every game?
Right.
And that was it. And then the next week we were at dinner, and the week after that it was 2 dinners, and then I was over the house for a movie, and the next week we were swimming in his pool. So it was just, that's like I said, good people hang around with good people.
Right. For sure.
Yeah, I love how you say that license plate guy, because a lot of the times, with your connections, being so fortunate to have met these players and stuff, you've done really good things. I just want to touch on the charity softball game that was held a couple years ago, that you ran with Landon Collins. I mean, how special was that night? I even saw you were doing a little bit of charity work, giving away a PS5. Just scrolling through your Twitter feed earlier today too. So you're always giving back to the community. Just so how inspiring is that?
I appreciate you asking about that. Look, when you have a platform that I have or that I built, I didn't get any help. The Giants don't love what I because I don't work for the organization.
Yeah.
They might
Yep.
they might love license plate guy, but they won't show me love like that. So everything that I've done on my own. The softball game, I mean, it's probably the greatest thing I ever did in my life as far as fandom is concerned. Uh, I was at the Pro Bowl with Landon Collins. And I said, I said, you should do some kind of a charity game. And he's like what? I'm like, I don't know. And next thing you know, we came up with softball, and he's like, okay, do it. I'm like, what do you mean do it? And then next thing you know, I'm like, all right, Landon, are you sure you really want to do this? And then I called my buddy Brandon, and I said, look, I said, I'm not really close with Landon yet, and I don't know if I could trust him. Like, is he going to come through? Is he even going to shoot the game? I'm like, if he doesn't, I'm kind of screwed because I want to give back to the fan base. Like, I want to make the tickets affordable. I want a trillion Giant fans to show. And I'm like, do you think together we could get the Super Bowl teams here? Just in case Landon doesn't come through with the current guys.
Yeah.
At least we have a product on the field. And next thing I know, I had 80 guys from the Super Bowl era, 40 current guys, and I'm like, and then I raised, I don't know, $35,000
Wow.
to the
That's
Tom
amazing.
Coughlin J Fund. I had Tom Coughlin there, Eli Manning, Odell, Barkley. For 3 years, it was the greatest thing I've ever done in my life because, one, I gave to charity. That's the most important. 2, I got to hang with the guys that I idolize.
Right.
And 3, I got to have you guys, the fans, come and get a piece of that too. It was the greatest thing I've done. I've raised, probably in 3 years over $100,000. I'm still doing stuff now with the PS5.
Yeah.
I did a breast cancer thing a few years back here, raised $3,500. So if you're, I guess, to be called a super fan, and you have some kind of a platform, and you have X amount of people following you, and and you're not just putting out hate and starting controversy, then you could do some pretty cool things.
Right.
And that's what I try and do.
Wow. No, that's like, I don't know if other teams really have super fans. Like, Mark, is there a big Jaguar super fan?
I mean, there isn't. I'm sure, obviously, license plate guy. You've seen or been with Fireman Ed, right, on the Jets. I guess that's kind of your cross city rival in a sense. But no, but just hearing you, Joe, and what you do with your platform is great. I do want to ask one question. I don't want to let this slip by me because we were talking about our favorite moments, me and Jacqueline, earlier. And I see the Super Bowl 21 sticker you have up there. Maybe Super Bowl 25 right behind your head there. My dad is a big-time Bills fan. So the wide right in Super Bowl 25 just really killed him. Just kind of where were you for that, and how special was that? Because you were basically around me and Jacqueline's age when those two Super Bowls happened. So
yeah, I mean, 21, I was just a kid. 25, I was, a senior in high school. This is a funny story. 25. So I don't have any money. My parents don't want to send me to Tampa as a senior. You're out of your mind. You're not going there. I'm like, I'm going.
Yeah, of course.
I'm going. I'm not just letting you know. I don't know how, but I'm going. And a buddy of mine, I wound up to call this guy. He once took a picture of me at the stadium, like one of those photographers just running around.
Yeah.
And I had his number, and I was like, hey, are you going to the game? And he's like, of course. I'm like, are you shooting it? He's like, of course. I'm like, hey, you getting there? He's like, I'm driving. I'm like, I'm coming.
Wow.
And he's like, excuse me? Like, how much to just get in your, and just take me down to Tampa? And one of my friends and myself, we paid the guy 50, that's it, $50 each. And he drove us to Tampa. We went to the game, and he drove us back.
Wow, that is crazy. Yeah. Wow, for an amazing Super Bowl. I mean, one that
It was
everybody
incredible.
knows. Yeah. Wow. That is amazing. Jacqueline, did you have another question here for Joe?
I have a million questions for you. We're not gonna be able to get. We're for
Yeah,
sure.
we don't have enough time.
Yeah,
Right?
we do not. We're gonna need you 10 more times at least this year.
No problem.
Oh my gosh. So many questions. Oh, I wanted to ask what your favorite piece of memorabilia is. I know that Lawrence Taylor signed "I Wish" twice on one of your jerseys. So what's one of your favorites?
So
Oh wow.
Let's
can you
see.
see that or not really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not bad. Yeah. Yeah.
So what happened was, and that's just a little.
Wow.
Wow.
That is every fan's
That
dream.
is a fan cave.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is
I would
unbelievable.
say
The signatures,
I would
wow.
say that jersey and like I don't know Odell's cleats
Oh.
or Collins. I don't know. I got a nice little hanger hanging off of it, but Collins like game worn jersey. But truth be told, it's probably all of that.
Right.
Wow, the signatures there
Signatures on the
on the
ceiling.
ceiling.
On the ceiling.
So when
Wow.
you the it's can't take it with me. I don't know what I'm going to do with the ceiling when I move, but
Right.
the 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 Taylor jersey. I played golf with him and some college roommates, and I don't know how I got his number. I swear to you, I had my ways back in the day. I don't even know how I came across it, but I called him up and I said, "We're playing golf tomorrow morning. You want to play?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'll play." I'm like, "You don't even know who this is." Didn't matter if it was golf. If it was golf, he's playing. Sure
Yeah.
enough, son of a bitch showed up, and he played a full 18 holes with us and locked his keys in his car. So I drove him. I
Oh
drove
my
him home,
gosh.
and I said, "Look," I said, "I only want one thing. Can I print the picture out of us playing golf, and can I bring over a few pictures and the jersey to get signed?" He goes, "Absolutely." So I dropped him off, and I did about 100 miles per hour home. Got the jersey, printed out pictures of the foursome that day, and that's my
That's a
roommates.
Wow.
great
That's him.
photo. Wow.
And where is it? That over there in the corner is this black car that has key lock in it. And
That's great.
and we got back to his house. I got back to his house, and he was sitting on the couch. And look, like I told you guys before, when you get a jersey, that was your jersey for life. So if anything happened to that jersey, you couldn't just go to Modell's and buy one. You had to order jerseys.
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't like and they were like $250. And back then it's like $1,000 right now.
Right.
So I laid it out on his table, got all the creases out, and he started signing it. And he got, I don't know, either scolded him or something. He was just like, he sat back and he just fell asleep.
That
And
is
Wow.
and I'm like, holy crap, this guy literally fell asleep after writing best wishes on my
Oh,
jersey.
best wishes.
And I LT wakes up and he signs best wishes again. Now look, best wishes Lawrence Taylor jersey. I left and just like a baby that I was, I left really unhappy. Like he just ruined my jersey. And now that I'm a lot older and I look at it and it's such a conversation piece, it's
oh
the
yeah.
best piece that I own. Just
Really.
because of him doing that.
Right. Right.
Such a
Wow. That's
hilarious story.
that's
Yeah.
so amazing. Okay. I
Yeah.
think we only have.
And and again, like, there's just so much stuff that means to me. Not the auction last week where I got rid of a bunch of stuff that
Mhm.
really doesn't mean that much to me. Like, you know, 100
Wow.
game used cleats,
Wow.
That's
you
crazy.
know. Right. It's awesome. It's cool. I'm gonna probably raffle those off for charity for the next 5 years.
That's amazing.
But the stuff that really means a lot to me, I'm always gonna keep.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
that's great.
That is great. Just such an amazing story there. Lawrence Taylor, like a beast of a man there, just sleeping on his couch with your jersey laid out there.
Yeah.
That's hilarious, man. That's great, Joe.
That's great. I think we only have time for probably one more question. I guess
Sure.
each. So first of all, I just want to ask. This is your first time in years and years not be able to go see every single Giants game due to COVID. How are you handling that? Watching the Giants not with them?
Good question. I'm gonna take an asterisk because like everybody else gets to take every year. But truth be told, I've I've gone to every game they allowed fans,
Right.
so I guess I could count this as my 20th season
Hmm.
because you know I was able to go to Dallas, I was able to go to Cincinnati, I was able to go to Philadelphia, I was able to go. So I'm going to the games that allow you to go to, but the game you can't go to MetLife.
Hmm. Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
probably not going to be. I couldn't go to Seattle. I'm probably not going to go to
Hmm.
Baltimore. They're not going to allow fans. So I'm thinking my season's it already ended.
Hmm.
Um, I'm not going to lie to you. It was kind of cool to watch a game on TV.
On TV. Yeah.
I haven't seen a game on TV in 20 years.
Oh my gosh.
So, you know, the little things like looking at a replay.
Right.
I don't even know what that's like
Yeah.
looking at a replay. So if I'm not on Twitter, like, yo, did he catch that? Did he catch that? Did he catch that? I don't know. So
Right.
it's kind of been cool. I'm not gonna say it
Mm.
hasn't, but I've gone to all the games I could go to, and I guess I'll pick it up next year.
All
Awesome.
right. Yeah. Final question here. I'll make it pretty quick because I know time is running out here. It might be hard to rank, but maybe favorite stadium or favorite city to go to a game
Good question.
in.
Wow.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I have one, and I made this well known, and I say it every year. And you guys want to take a guess at my favorite stadium?
Uh,
Ooh.
that's one that's not MedLife. It's not in Dallas. Isn't
I,
it?
It's
It's Dallas?
Dallas is the greatest
oh yeah.
stadium in.
No way.
It is unbelievable.
Yeah.
It
Why?
is
Giants World.
so big, you could almost put MetLife inside of it. It
Really?
has it has 8 levels.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's so big that they have the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders, which are what they're known for, because
Mhm.
they're definitely
Yeah.
not known for their team. They're Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. On the 5th level, they have, like, I don't know, Bud Light girls or cheerleaders or something, because you can't see the girls on the field.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my
they need new
gosh.
ones up there.
Or-
Wow.
It's just really big, and Jerry Jones does it right. And the
yeah.
screen is,
Right.
from the 30-yard line to the 30-yard line. It's just a really cool place, and I love the city. The people are nice. The fans are jerks, but the people are nice.
Okay.
I really enjoy going to Dallas. And by the
Wow.
way, you can't pass the barbecue. Barbecue's banging.
Really? In
Yeah.
Dallas, of course. Yeah. Wow. No, I've only been to games in Arizona, New York, Miami, and Detroit, but Dallas for sure. Once COVID's all done, I really want to make a trip out there for sure.
Stadium
Yeah.
is beautiful. And look, you mentioned some awesome stadiums as well. I love going to Arizona.
Arizona's
Of
great.
course, because Super Bowl there too. But
Hmm.
I mean, look, Minnesota,
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Atlanta,
Minnesota.
oh my God, was that pretty? There are so many
Really?
gorgeous stadiums. I really was upset I couldn't go to LA. I
Yeah.
couldn't go to Rams.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
want to
I'd love
see
to go there.
what is it? SoCal,
SoFi,
whatever.
SoFi, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it was looks
It looks
unbelievable.
crazy. Yeah. Wow.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, so we're actually running out of time now. We would love to have you back on again. Hopefully, Giants playoff time. Thank you so much for coming. This was a great episode, great conversation. You're honestly such a great guy. Being a super fan can give you fame, but what you're doing with it is so amazing. And I hope it inspires other people and other Giants fans to give back. And thank you so much.
You know what? I really appreciate those words. And as soon as they make the playoffs, you hit me up and let's do it again.
Awesome. All
I
right.
appreciate that,
Thanks,
Joe.
guys.
All right. Bye,
See you
guys.
later, man.
Bye.
Bye bye.